Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Coin Mindset. Appreciate you being here. How's everybody doing today? We got Crypto Bedell in the house today. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather, but he's here. Appreciate him being here. Always everybody being here. The notifications are going on a little bit slow, so we're gonna give it a minute, and then we're gonna go take a quick look at the markets before we obviously jump on into everything I want to chat about today. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tick the bell icon, click the all, that way you know when I go live and or drop a great video. I've been dropping a lot of videos lately. Just did one earlier this week about the bug with regard to the Tangem app. So go check that out if you have not already done so. Appreciate that. And make sure you share it. Bottom line is this. I still believe Tangem app, easiest, newbie, friendly hardware wallet for everybody. So I plan to keep using it because crap happens. That's all I'm going to say. Crap happens. And hey, if you're just jumping in, make sure you smash up that like. If you're on Facebook, I can see I got a couple of people on Facebook. Thumbs up. Appreciate that. All right. Appreciate everybody being here today. Let's jump into the markets and see what's up. All right. I'll bring this up on stage. There we go. And let me do this. That way, when I'm talking all this stuff here, I'm not, giving financial advice. Automatic Beats is in the house. Welcome, Automatic Beats. Appreciate it. Yes. Appreciate you being here. As always, my friend. You're just in time because we're going to go through the markets. You know what that means. All right. So let's take a look. And here we go. We got Bitcoin. Actually, you know what? Let me refresh this because it's been kind of bouncing around a little bit. And I'm glad I did. Look, it's up a little bit more here. When I started out prepping for the live stream this morning, Bitcoin was hovering around 92K. And it's obviously done a little bit of a bounce right now, 94,244. Overall down 3% for the last week and still down 1% on the day, but moving back in the right direction, I guess, right? And so let's keep it going here. By the way, I did put a poll on YouTube, so make sure you take part in that poll. Interested to see what the results of that are going to be. Hang on one second here. I need to shut that off there so I'm not deafening everybody. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. If you guys watched Piper Academy this morning, he was having some technical difficulties. All those government AI agents were definitely messing with his equipment today. That's for sure. All right. Anyway, Ethereum. 3320, down about 5% on the last 7 days, 0.5% here in the last 24 hours. XRP at $2.32, still down about 3.5% on the week, but up 1% on the day. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I think it was on Fox Business News where CEO of the Bank of America has said something about using Ripple for their settlement layer or something to that effect. I honestly didn't get to do a whole deep dive on it, but I did share the information on my X. So go ahead and check that out. BNB, excuse me. BNB looking mighty good. 697. I mean, down below that $700 mark, but still down 2.2% for the last 7 days. Solana 192.17. Look at this, down 8% in the last week, 2.5% so far today. Wow, that's all I got for that. I was talking about it on the Matrix Money podcast on Tuesday night. There should be a deadline coming up for the first group of Solana ETF filings. I don't know. I probably should have put that as my poll question to say, hey, do you think they're going to be approved or not? I believe it's later on this month, another week or so. Don't hold me to that. Again, I don't have it right in front of me, but that is coming. As far as I know, I think there's about 5 of them looking for approval. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the chat. Are they going to get approved? Is Gary going to give one more middle finger to the crypto space before he leaves? I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'm interested to see what you're thinking. Dave P. in the house. Welcome, sir. Appreciate you being here as always. All right, let's keep moving along with this. Dogecoin, 33 cents, down 2.3% on the week, almost 3.5% on the day. I don't know. Doge seems to be floundering a little bit as the oldest meme coin. I think it's the oldest meme coin. I say that without double checking, but I think I'm correct. And what's going to happen? I think it's still going to fly when the bull market completely hits. Cardano down to 92 cents, bouncing off a level of support in that 89-cent range, down 3.7% over the week and over 4% today. Tron looking pretty good, down 7% for the last week, but still hovering at that 24.5 cent mark for Tron. That's like double in price from its where it was like a stable coin there for a while. And 100 Air in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Yes, DGen's in the house. Appreciate everyone. Thank you. Let's see where we are here. Avalanche, AVAX, 37.23. Again, everything is a lot of red in the market today overall, down almost 7%. SUI, for those who like SUI, or if you prefer the pronouncement of SUI, I don't know. To me, it's SUI. I don't what do I know? It's one of the few things that's green in the market today, up over 8%. Sheeb, down almost 5%. But again, another one that's probably going to fly when the market starts to go. Chainlink looking pretty good, even though it's down almost 10.5% at $20. Again, I've said it, anything $20 or less on Chainlink, good buy as far as I'm concerned. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy interwebs. So yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. I was expecting Soul to the moon, but we got 100 Air to the moon. I love it. Oh, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. All right, XLM looking pretty good, even though it's down 5.5%, 40 cents. And HBAR, 27.5 cents, down almost 6% from its high. And again, still HBAR, I think is going to be another one huge in this cycle. We've got some DOT fans out there. I know we do. $6.78 on DOT, even though down 5.5%. BCH again, BCH Litecoin. I like to use them for what they're meant to be used for, as money, and then save your BTC. Bitcoin Cash 430.25, down 7.5%. And speaking of Litecoin, back up over that $100 mark, even though it's down 2%, $105.10. Uniswap, not bad a price, $12.90, even though it's down 11%. And quite frankly, another one that's gonna, when Ethereum starts going up, so is Uniswap. It's that simple. Pepe down 14.5%. Let's see what else we got. Near Protocol, $5.09, down 7.5%. ICP, for those who might be ICP fans, we're talking $10.52. What else? Aave. Again, I've told you before, I used to use Aave back in the day, and I like Aave. I like the platform. It's down over 14%, $2. Don't we wish, right? Be buying a crap ton of that. $287.96. What else we got here? We're going to go down a little bit more. Render, one of the projects you could have voted for, one of the DPIM projects you could have voted for in the last Crypto on the Rock cycle, $7.34. And hopefully you guys are going to be here on Friday. Matter of fact, I've already got polls out on Twitter, on Patreon, and in the community tab on YouTube to go ahead and vote for what we're going to dollar cost average into this week on Crypto on the Rock. So go check those out. VeChain, I like VeChain. Down just over 5%, 4.5 cents. XMR, I like privacy coins. I think as we're moving forward, these things are going to be huge, especially with everything going on in the EU. 195.49, and every major centralized cryptocurrency exchange has delisted this thing, and it won't die. It just won't die, and I'm all glad about that. Trade Intuition has made it. He is in the house. Matter of fact, listen, stay through to the end of this live stream, and right after this live stream ends, YouTube will automatically send you over to Trade Intuition stream, which is at noontime. He's live noontime, Monday through Friday, giving you that knowledge about trading. So make sure you are heading over there and going to see him. All you got to do is just keep watching, and YouTube will do it for you. Let's keep moving on here a little bit more. We're going to go at least to 50 here. Let's see what else we got. Virtuals. It's taken a huge dip. And this is something, speaking of Trade Intuition, he talks about this all the time. He's got a lot of people who are definitely interested in virtuals. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if he's still in a virtuals trade, but I mean, he's made some money with this thing. $3.32, down over 30%. Whew. If you shorted virtuals, you are literally in the money. Oh, damn. All right. I think we're going to call it there. You get the point. There's a lot of red in the markets today. Lots of red. So again, don't forget, if you're just jumping in, I can see I got a bunch of people jumping in. Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Cost you nothing. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe. I'm live at least 3 to 4 days a week, dropping all kinds of videos. Appreciate you showing that support. All right. So what are we talking about today? Today, we're going to talk about how bad things are here. Hence the poll I have going on right now when you come into YouTube. Inflation is just starting to tick up. We're actually going to look at I didn't originally have this plan, but when I was on Piper Academy this morning, I stole it from you, Piper. Sorry, man. I actually asked Piper to be here today, but he had some family things going on, so he wasn't able to join. And hey, no worries. Things are what they are. Appreciate he was even considering it, given I only gave him like 24 hours notice. So I appreciate that. But I was watching Piper Academy this morning, and he showed the quote. I always pronounce it wrong. Kobeissi. I don't know. I pronounce it wrong every time, but we're going to bring it up. The Kobeissi letter. I also follow these guys, and they always great economic information, big view picture, and not just big view. They dive into these things. So if you're not following them on X, I suggest you do so. Link to this is in the description. So go ahead and let me get rid of that so you can see. And I'm going to do this so you can see it a little bit better. How about this? Bam. There we go. And to follow them, get the info. Basically, prediction markets now see inflation rising as high as 4.1% in 2025. Now, again, that's 4.1% given what they're using currently as a metric to measure inflation, which if they were to actually measure inflation, I'm sure we'd still be in the double-digit range. But okay, we'll take their measurement standard here for this inflation rate. So rising as high as 4.1% in 2025. Heading into 2025, however, expectations showed the inflation rate peaking at 3.6. Yeah. Then he goes, or they go on to say here that in prediction markets saying inflation is back. Inflation is back. Inflation is running hot, and it is going to continue, sadly, I think, to do so. And tell me what you think. Don't forget to hit that poll. I believe we're going to see some massive inflation rates, and we're going to see a lot of breakdown in our economy as a whole here in 2025. So I don't know. What can you say? You got to be prepared. And hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about that. Hopefully you guys will chime in the chat and tell me what you're thinking about how you're preparing. Matter of fact, if you want to start putting that in there now, how you think you're preparing or what you are actually doing with regard to preparing for what may be coming in 2025. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are very or a bit more optimistic because of the incoming administration versus the FJB administration, which is still trying to screw things on their way out the door here. But one administration can't, in my opinion, fix everything. So we have to be prepared ourselves. To help to be prepared ourselves, you need to have a bigger picture of everything. And that's part of why I do what I do here, to help people to understand where the areas you need to focus on, the things you need to look at, the information you need to digest in order to make the best decisions possible moving forward. Now, whether that's with crypto, whether that's gold, whether that's stocks, whatever, that's, you got to do what's best for you. You know what, where is it? You know, right here. Do your own research, man. You have to figure out what your risk profile is and take that information, digest it down, and then where do you move? Again, throw some in the comments. I'm interested to see where you're thinking you're going to move, but do your own research. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy interwebs. You also know, if you've been in this channel for a while, that I subscribe to, and I like utilizing the information from Lena Petrova. And that's the video information we're actually going to use today as we discuss all of this. And we're going to break down one of her most recent videos where she's talking about things like the inflation rate. She's talking about credit card delinquencies. She's talking about just Americans, everyday Americans, having like an inability to be able to actually even keep up. And though I'm not trying to steal her proverbial thunder there, let me bring up the first clip. I've basically broken this video, and if you want to watch the whole video, link is in the description, down into 3 sections. So I'm going to bring it up. We'll watch these 3 sections here, and we're going to try to figure out, I think this is the first one. Let's see. Boom. Yes, I got it right. Woo! Sometimes there's so many tabs open. I have so many tabs open. Sometimes it's just like an impossibility to even get the right tab. Where are we here? How about that? That's a little bit better. You don't want to see me. You'd rather see her. I know you guys. So all right, let's let her do the talking, and then I will give you my proverbial 2 cents here and there, because Lord knows I have a lot of opinions to give. All right, here we go.
Let's start with housing affordability. You see here how the housing bubble that we have been in appears to be very similar to the one that we experienced back in 2008. The median annual house payment as a percentage of median income has hit 39.4%. This is the most since the 1980s. In fact, it has surpassed the 2006 housing bubble peak of 38.1%. Even though the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates, mortgage rates increased while home prices remain relatively stable, very high on average across all national markets. Homes sit on the market for months because
and she's going to point out a few things here, but I mean, think about it. It is insane to try and get a mortgage right now. The millennial generation and younger generations are basically, thanks to our current economic system, priced out of home ownership. I mean, that was the crux. That was the cornerstone, the pinnacle of the American dream, right? To have the house with the picket fence, and okay, whatever, you have whatever house you want, but the point is to own your own home. These days, thanks to the way they have destroyed sorry, I'm just looking at 100 Airs comment. I'm going to let that be, right? Anyway, the way they have destroyed this economy and basically robbed us through inflation is just insane and has screwed younger generations. Part of why I try to show you on Friday nights, $25 DCA every week. And what did I tell you? That money, cold storage, Tangent wallet, and poof, put aside, never to be seen again until I croak and my grandkids get it. It's that simple, because they're the ones who are going to be the most adversely affected by what's going on. But not to get down that road, let's let her finish what she's saying about housing. See, I can go off on a tangent for days here. Usually I got somebody here to start me, like Joe, Monday, thank God, although he let me go this past Monday. So, but hopefully, here we go.
Because buyers find it increasingly challenging to qualify for a mortgage. Their debt burden is at an all-time high, at a historically high level, and many of them are actually maxed out on their credit cards.
Right.
Mortgage interest rates on a 30-year mortgage stand approximately at 7.1% as of the time of this video, which is the highest level in the past 6 months. Now, let's take this one step further. Median house payments now consume 39.4% of household income, surpassing 2006 housing bubble.
And I just want to, again, put in my 2 cents here. It's crazy. I don't even understand how people can afford the mortgage payments these days. I just don't. My daughter and my son-in-law bought their house right before all this crap happened in 2020, and their mortgage payment, my God, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. And it's just crazy that now here we are, going to be 5 years later, and mortgage payments are even higher. And the interest rates, though the Fed is lowering, using my air quotes here, the interest rates, that is not affecting the 30-year mortgage term mortgage rates. And again, to throw back to, if Piper was here, I'd let him talk about this. But to throw back to this, that was something that Piper actually did talk about in his yesterday live stream. So go ahead. Again, if you don't follow Piper Academy, links in the description. Go follow him. Great information every day, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. All right, I'm going to let her kick it back to Lena here.
In the United States, you need to make $109,000 and nearly $600 per year to buy a house.
And now she's about to show you what the actual median income is in the United States. Median income. And I'll point out that Bitcoin is worth more than the median income of families in the United States,
which is an all-time high. The income level requirement has doubled in the past 4 years.
Right.
The bad news is that, by comparison, the median income earned is just $83,431. As you can tell, that gap has never been greater, and it is unlikely to change anytime soon. It's now safe to conclude that homeownership, that American dream, if you will, is nowhere in sight for the majority of the US population, unfortunately.
Yes, it is unfortunate. And it's, again, tell me if you think I'm wrong in the live chat, by all means. I don't see that changing. Sadly, I just don't see that changing. Mortgage rates follow the 10-year. Exactly. And that's what, thank you, 100 Air. And that's what he was pointing out yesterday Piper was pointing out yesterday in Piper Academy, is that, you can't look at the regular interest rates. You got to look at the 10-year treasury. So thank you, 100 Air, for pointing that out. I'd say you make me sound smart, but yeah, there's no help there. There's just no help there. And yes, Joe, it is sad. It is sad. I mean, when you think about, again, I think about, my kids right now. Well, it is what it is. All my kids are older, but my grandchildren, I mean, that's what it is today. Fiat dollars of over 106 grand average income to be able to even afford a home. By the time they are at that point, I don't even want to think about what it's going to be. It's just insane to actually try and wrap your head around that. And again, why I think, or for me, my opinion, is that, I want to focus on them. I would rather go without at this point in time, and struggle at this point in time, and try to push off stuff like cryptocurrency and gold and that kind of thing to them, because unfortunately I think that's what's going to be necessary, whether it's to buy a home or whatever it is that they're going to look to do. Hell, just survive. That is the way it's going to have to be. All right, I'm going to bring up the next section that I have queued up for her. Right? Did I get it right? I did. Yay. And we're going to listen to what she's got to say. Now, in this section, she's going to be talking about non-household debt and primarily credit card debt, because most Americans these days are actually living off of their credit cards. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know about you. I see it all the time when I go like to the grocery store. I'm watching people, if they're not getting government assistance, they're using their credit cards in most cases to just buy food. And even the circle of people I talk to, there are times when that's what they've got to do to survive. And that's just, I don't know, call me crazy, but that's not how it's supposed to be here in the United States of America. All right, let's let her do some talking, and I will commiserate a little bit more as we go forward.
The main reasons why so many U.S. households are struggling is a high debt burden carried by an average American household. Non-housing debt now stands at approximately $5 trillion with a T, $5 trillion in total. I would like to focus on credit cards because they carry variable interest rates, which is extremely bad. It is scary. And this is the worst type of debt that you can possibly have.
And I want to point out, before she kind of gets into it a little bit more, I know there's been, especially if you're on X, you see all these things that get floated out there, and then maybe they're true, maybe they're not, I don't know. But one of the things that I saw floated out there was the fact that the potentially government legislation to try and cap interest on credit cards. Sounds great in theory, but I got to believe that that's going to probably hurt the people who need it or use it the most, because a lot of these people in the lower income bracket are using their credit cards, and yes, they are astronomical rates, sometimes in the 20+% range. And like I said, as good as it sounds, I think that's just where credit card companies will cut people like that off at the knees, and then they have even less access to money. But is that a blessing in disguise? Well, she's about to talk about delinquencies right now, so maybe that is a blessing in disguise. Tell me what you think in the chat.
According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, credit card debt hit a record of $1.1 trillion in the third quarter of 2024, which is the latest data available at this time. On average, people pay an all-time high interest rate of 23.4% on their credit card balances.
Now, I forgot she had even mentioned that in this video. And again, if you want to watch the entire video, link is in the description by all means. And I suggest, if you're not following her, whether it's on X or on YouTube or Rumble, whatever, that you do so. She covers so much stuff. And though this happens to be US centric, she also does cover world events that will ultimately affect the US. So definitely go ahead and give her a follow. Alexandra G in the house, stopping by to say hello, like that stream and share. Yes, I appreciate that. And yes, Alexandra, you're the best. Listen, best mod in the business, bar none. I don't know how she makes it to all these different streams. She is amazing. I appreciate you, Alexandra. Thank you for being here. Thank you for throwing that in the chat. Appreciate you very much. I really do. Again, crazy high. I like I said, I forgot she had even mentioned this in this video, but 23%, that's on average. I mean, I'm sure there are many people here in the US that are paying much, much higher interest rates. much higher interest rates than 23%. But again, I digress sometimes.
Unfortunately, delinquency rates continue their upward trend as well.
Of course.
US credit card loan defaults hit their highest since 2010 in 2024. Credit card lenders wrote off $46 billion, which is a massive 50% year-over-year increase in seriously delinquent loan balances in the first 9 months of 2024. And
okay, now that's serious delinquency. So that's not like, you missed last month's payment. That is like maybe you've missed like 6 months payments, that kind of thing. So think about that in context. Again, everybody in America, or the majority of people in America, are sitting here struggling day to day, just trying to keep a roof over their head. And a matter of fact, again, Joe and I were talking about this on Monday. If you didn't watch that stream, when we're done here, and after you watch Joe's stream, because if you're here right now, all you gotta do is sit tight, and we're gonna send you right over to see Joe at noon. But after that stream, go ahead and check that out. Monday, Crypto Market Monday live stream we did a few days ago, and yeah, we went. Matter of fact, I did a couple of clips on that. You'll see those dropping soon. It's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy how people are struggling here in the US and are going to continue to struggle. All right, let her keep going here.
And to be completely honest with you, even though the final numbers, the final 2024 numbers as of December 31st are not available yet, they have not been announced yet, I would expect that number to be much higher as of the end of the year. Now, let's take a quick look at delinquency rates. Let's look at the details. This is a chart of US credit card serious delinquency rates. Fed data shows credit card delinquencies have risen 7% in a span of just 15 months, which represents nearly a quarter, just shy of a quarter, 23% to be exact, of the consumer credit card market.
That is an insane rise. Again, in 15 months. So just over a year. Delinquencies up 7%. You think 7%? It's nothing. No, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. It's showing the trend. It's showing the trend of the struggle that's happening here in the US. Again, this is the stuff, just to kind of bring it back to the beginning a little bit, that you and I need to know the bigger picture, the more macroeconomic picture that we need to understand if we are going to make good decisions when it comes to how we prepare to be able to weather the coming storm. Because in my opinion, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy, interwebs, but the storm's coming. The storm's coming. All right, I'm going to let her wrap this section up, and then I'll again, I know I get down my rabbit holes here and soapboxes, so I apologize, but I appreciate your patience and understanding.
U.S. credit card serious delinquency rates for subprime borrowers just hit 22%, which is, of course, the highest since 2010. So we just discussed that an average U.S. person cannot afford to buy a home unless he or she makes 6 figures. Their average credit card balance is higher than ever before, and a growing number of U.S. consumers is actually falling behind on their monthly bills.
And again, the link, if you want to go watch the entire video, is in the description. Go ahead and do that, and definitely follow her. But she just basically outlined the trend. Excuse me. She's outlined the trend here. And we're going to watch one more section, and then I'm going to try to throw out some options. Again, you gotta do your own thing. Everybody's risk tolerance is different. Everybody's financial status is different. Income is different, etc. So you got to do what's best for you, but you need to be able to find this information first, this kind of information. And again, I try to provide that here as often as possible, but even though I have opinions on it and I've done research on a lot of this, I am not the expert in this. And but these people are. She definitely is. So hence I'm pointing you to her, and definitely follow her. But you can get this kind of analysis. Again, I'm pointing you to Piper Academy, and 9:30 a.m. Army Piper's there, breaking this all down on the daily, going over all of the like FOMC meetings and the latest data that's coming out of the government, jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And speaking of jobs, that's the next section that we're going to listen to, where she basically highlights, okay, can things get worse? Well, sure they can. If job numbers come back bad. And that's, again, something followed on Piper Academy that he was talking about. Those job numbers come out on the monthly, okay, but they are always revised. And over the last, again, without having it right in front of me, but definitely over the last few months, especially, we've seen downward revisions. I mean, was it September or October? They did a downward revision of over 818,000 jobs that just don't exist. They existed, but not really, because that was only on paper, and don't exist. And then there are things like ghost jobs. So again, companies that will throw jobs up on Indeed or whatever other job board they have, and they're not really looking to fill those jobs, especially like government jobs. They're not looking to fill those, but they want to put that out there. Now, whether that's to go and find, okay, let's feel out the talent pool, or whether that's, let's see how much interest there is in this, how bad is the job market, how good is the job market, market. Say that 5 times fast. That's what you're seeing with those kind of things. And all right, so let's bring up this last piece, and we'll talk about that, and then I'm gonna kind of try to bring it all together here. Go, Lena.
And a growing number of US consumers is actually falling behind on their monthly bills. Okay, so that doesn't sound very promising at all. I'm sure that you would agree with me, but things are unlikely to worsen unless employment numbers weaken.
Right.
And that is the last portion of this video that I would like to focus on. We will take a look at the employment numbers in the private sector. Private sector employment numbers have been declining. As of November of 2024, full-time private sector jobs dropped by 1.8 million year over year.
Now, I want to pause there, because that was also some of the ways that the government was fudging numbers earlier when they were putting out job numbers. She points out full-time employment numbers are dropping. Full-time employment numbers. So if you got a full-time job, maybe you need to take a part-time job in order to make the ends meet. Lord knows. But if you're trying to move from full-time employment to full-time employment, that opportunity doesn't necessarily exist anymore, because these numbers for full-time employment are dropping. But what the government has tried to do, or at least this current administration has tried to do, is to fudge those numbers by saying, look at all these jobs. Well, one, they're all part-time jobs. That's first. And second, again, you're forgetting job revision numbers, where those job numbers actually drop off. Full-time jobs, full-time employment here in the United States is falling. That's simple. All right, I need to bring her back up full screen here, right? There we go. All right, let's let her keep going.
Year-over-year decline. That is a steep decline on a year-over-year basis. Government jobs rose over the same time period. So as private sector employment declines, we see a consistent rise in government jobs. But we need private employment to grow to sustain government expansion.
Okay, and 2 things she's pointed out there that you need to kind of wrap your head around. One, I mentioned earlier, government jobs. That's what's expanding. The government sector is what's expanding, or at least as far as the jobs posted are concerned. A lot of times, and in most cases, governments aren't going to fill these positions. They're just running them out there to say, yeah, we're looking, we're actively hiring and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. They're ghost jobs. They're there, but they're not there. It's that simple. And again, in what sector is this growing? The government sector. I'm sorry, the government is too big as it is. It needs to shrink. Private sector jobs, private sector businesses, that's what needs to grow. And that's the stuff that drives this country. But unfortunately, those are the ones that have taken the greatest hit and continue to take the hit. Okay, soapbox, next.
And that is not what we're seeing today. So let me know if you see these trends that we just discussed in the areas where you live. As always, I would.
All right. And that's where she wraps that up. And that's good with me here. Hold on one second. Sorry. The AI agents, government AI agents are here trying to mess me up. Damn them. Anyway, what do you think though? Do you agree? And yeah, you can let her know if you're going to go watch that whole video. Again, link in the description, but tell me what you think. Do you believe what she's saying as a whole is accurate here in the US? I'm going to tell you, I absolutely do. I completely do. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel it every time I go to the grocery store, every time I fill up the tank, every time I, insurance. Oh my God, my car insurance went through the roof with the new year. It's just insane. These things are just eroding at our purchasing power. Thank you to inflation, which again is just going to be on the rise. Speaking of which, now that I've pretty much got through that, let's go take a look at the poll. Let's sum it up here and end the poll. Bang. And let's see what everybody had to say. So it looks like 66% of you said, yes, inflation is definitely going to be higher in 2025. Okay. And I put in like, duh, as an option. And 33% of you. So the rest, everybody else said like, yeah, hello, duh. And nobody said no. So there you go. Basically, it's a big double thumbs on, yes, we're going to get our butts handed to us in 2025. Thank you to inflation. And Joe's saying, before crypto, I trusted the government. Now, different story. Amen, brother. Amen. I mean, and that's the thing. And okay, here we go. Try not to get too much on a soapbox here. Again, I know a lot of people are very much optimistic with the incoming administration. And I'm not going to lie, I'm obviously much more optimistic with the incoming administration than I am with the current outgoing administration. No doubt. Full stop. But I also realize that if you are going to go and survive, if you're going to be able to make ends meet, if you're going to make your way here, whether it's in the US or anywhere else for that matter, you can only, at the end of the day, depend on you. So if that's the case, what are you doing to prepare? Now, and during the I cannot talk today. During the retail roundtable that I had on my channel in mid-November, a lot of people talked about different things to do, and one of them was prepping. And I know Bedell is probably still sitting here in the chat, and Joe, both of them talked about that during that roundtable. And I think that is, I know preppers, using my air quotes there, have a somewhat negative connotation to some degree, but truth be told, they're probably the smart ones. It makes sense to, as Joe put it in one of the things he was saying about that during the retail roundtable, to DCA into prepping what the goods you need. So, DCA into a generator, DCA into then maybe food packets, DCA into all of that stuff. I mean, you don't have to go and spend the gazillion dollars straight off to be a prepper. And yeah, Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. It makes sense to me. And again, you don't gotta have you don't gotta be the guy with the bunker buried in the backyard of your house in order to prep. But having water on the back burner, not the back. I say that people gotta start boiling water. But having spare water in reserve, having food supply in reserve, having extra gasoline in reserve, having pick an item that makes sense for you, propane, that kind of thing, in reserve. So if there is a calamity, you are hopefully able to survive long enough to get help or be able to help yourself. And that's the key to what we're talking about. So yes, prepping, supplies, and I know Bedell and I have talked about potentially doing a live stream with regard to that. Obviously, Bedell, if I know you're listening, we're gonna have to follow up on that, I think, because it's definitely something that one is of interest to people who are here in this stream, and two, probably a good idea to, if nothing else, to have that information out there to give everybody something else to think about with regard to prepping. So remind me, Bedell, we got to follow up on that. Anyway, so then what? Well, I mean, think financially. And how do you I love it. 100 air. I love it. Yes, caveman days ahead. I make fire now. Yeah. I love it. I love it. You guys are awesome. And yes, I think we definitely got to do it, Bedell, because it needs to be out there. It just needs to be out there. And it doesn't have to be anything extreme, but maybe even it's just checklists about what you should think about. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do as I wrap things up, because that's where I'm at. I'm trying to wrap this stream up and point you in the right direction. So again, consider prepping. And if you're concerned, you don't know what you should be doing, there's plenty of books you can buy, simple books that give you a kind of a breakdown on who, what, where, when, and why of basics to consider depending on what your living situation is, urban, rural, whatever. But then there's also financial considerations. One of the things that, Jar in the house, you're late. Hey, listen, it's okay. It's cool. Stick around. Appreciate you being here as always. And listen, Jar, just hang out till the end in about 10 minutes. I'm going to end the stream and everybody's going to head on over and raid Trade Intuition stream. You won't even have to do nothing. YouTube will do it for you. I've got it set to redirect right over there. So appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. Listen, if you guys aren't watching, myself, Jar, and FF on Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern time, you're missing out. We've got some good stuff we talk about every week. And this past this past Tuesday night, we had some fun at Canada's expense, and Jar was good about that. Even though he lives in Canada, I'm sorry, Jar. Just thinking about it makes me laugh. But we had some fun. And matter of fact, that's going to be a best of clip when we do the best of in December of 2025 for Matrix Money Podcast. So make sure you're watching for that. But anyway, you need to be watching us on Matrix Money Podcast every Tuesday night. Yeah, 51st state incoming. Well, listen, bud, even if that's the case, I wouldn't be counting on the U.S. government for squat, or your government for that matter, for squat. I'm going to circle back to that. But anyway, not in a pick on Canada mode today. We love Jar. We love him. He good guy right there. Good guy. And puts out great information. If you're into nodes, you're into mining, you're into all that kind of stuff, he's the man to watch. Link to his channel in the description of this live stream. Go ahead and follow him. Check out his channel. You will not be disappointed. And you can also find him on X, although I don't think I have that link in this description, but go to his YouTube and you can find him on X. All right. So we're talking about talked about prepping as a way to prepare for, listen, do I want the shit to hit the fan in the end of 2025? No. Why would I want that? No sane person would want that. But to not be prepared for that eventuality, to me, doesn't really make much sense. So prepping, to whatever degree you need to prep with supplies, so be it. Do what you need to do. But you also need to consider prepping like financially. Now, I will point out that Joe has said it a couple of times, and Joe, feel free to jump into the chat and put whatever you want about it. But Joe was affected for a short period of time with the hurricane that hit the Carolinas. He had no power and didn't really have any money with him, like physical US dollar cash on hand. And that was a little bit of a challenge for him. So part of the prep makes sense to me to have some physical currency put aside. I mean, I'd like to say you probably don't need much, but have some aside. Now, if Daniel Diaz was here, and again, link to his channel in the description of this live stream, he would be talking about using gold backs. And hey, I like the whole gold back thing. Matter of fact, when he's on Friday nights on Crypto on the Rocks, he talks about them often. I always ask, where is that? Where the legislation is at? Because he works trying to get state legislatures. Boy, I ain't even been drinking yet. Anyway, to work on making gold legal tender within state borders. And part of that is the gold backs. So yeah, feel free to go back to some of those previous Crypto on the Rocks, take a look and watch how he's talking about that, or for that matter, interviews on Matrix Money podcast that we did with him where he talks about that. They're basically, you can use them like physical money, but they maintain the purchasing power of gold because they're actually made from gold. Maybe that's a consideration, or quite frankly, maybe a combination of those in order to have as a stash as part of your preparation. Now, thinking in a bigger term of preparation, maybe it's like, okay, if we do have some kind of economic collapse, maybe you need to consider not having to be dependent on the TradFi system. Done numerous live streams. I've put it out on many articles, etc., that you'll find on my website. By the way, cryptocoinmindset.com. Go ahead, head over there. And cheers. I don't know if that's cheers because you're leaving or cheers because you think I'm drinking. I don't know. It ain't the drinking thing. But if you're heading out, appreciate you being here. Anyway, you need to be able to extricate yourself from the current TradFi system if need be, because it's already difficult enough if you want to go ahead and take out money, large sums of money from the bank. One, they don't have it there because it's zero reserve banking since COVID. Two, they want to know where the hell what you're going to do with it, which is none of their freaking business. And three, even if they were going to give it to you, the likelihood is low that they might have large quantities of cash on hand to be able to do so. We've already seen the FDIC report saying 63 US banks on the edge of insolvency. Of course, they don't say which 63 banks because that would cause the insolvency as people are doing bank runs to get their money out of the damn banks, right? But you have to believe that if any of this stuff happens, you need to be in a position to be able to be outside of that system. Link is in the description for my Living on Crypto series. I am a fan of utilizing Dash and the Dash wallet. Dash have done so many great things lately. I am actually woefully behind in updating that information. So you definitely got to stay up with Joel Valenzuela, who is the interview I did that started my whole run down that particular rabbit hole. He's been off of the fiat system banking system and has lived solely on cryptocurrency for over a decade now. And thank you, Philip. Love you, brother. Appreciate you being here and listening in the background, man. And so you need to be able to consider it, whether it's gold with the gold backs, like I was just saying, like Daniel Diaz suggests, or like Joel suggests, and okay, be able to live utilizing crypto and be outside of the system. Again, this is meant to be food for thought for you, okay? And Automatic Beats, you're the best, man. Appreciate that. Every time he's always saying it. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody that's been here and watching. I'm going to start wrapping it up because it's almost noontime. And that means Trade Intuition is going to be going live. And I am going to forward everybody over. You don't even have to leave. All you got to do is sit tight and YouTube will do all the magic work for you. But before I head out, let me wrap this up. Appreciate everybody being here. I hope this gave you something to think about. I do want to say that please, hopes and prayers and, prayers for the people in California and what's going on out there with the wildfires. I mean, mega amounts of devastation out that way. A lot of people who frequent the streams here are otherwise affected or living in that area. So prayers to all of you, please. That can only help. And you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. And awesome. He's going to stay in for Trade Intuition stream. Appreciate that. All right. So let me wrap this thing up because I got about 3 minutes here. So what's going on here for Crypto Coin Mindset? Like I said, you're going to be watching a video dropping. Again, I dropped one yesterday from Monday's live stream where Trade Intuition and I went down a rabbit hole about the TradFi banking system. We have another and how they're trying to keep you poor. I have another one dropping tomorrow. Saturday about what did we go on about that one? I don't know. We went on about a lot of different rabbit holes, but this one I forgot what it was. I don't know. You're gonna like it is the bottom line. So go ahead and check that out because my brain is like literal mush right now. And matter of fact, wait a minute. If I got it here, I might have. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. How we need to spread the word about what we're doing. And this is part of that. Spread the word, share this stream. And hey, listen, you don't even have to like my stream. I mean, share your favorite influencer stream. Get that information out there. And it's just so important. We need to educate people so less and less people get hurt when everything does hit the fan. I lost power supplies yesterday due to the cold. I mean, there's another thing. Just extreme weather conditions can be a reason to have that kind of stuff in reserve, supplies in reserves, whatever, have a generator ready to go, extra gas. Yeah, people, come on, think about that. Anyway, so tomorrow night, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, polls are already out there. You can start voting now. Crypto on the Rocks. Make sure you're there. Hopefully, you'll all join us in the chat, if nothing else. Want to come join us live? Send me a message. We can make that happen. And make sure that you're voting for what I'm going to dollar cost average into this week. Saturday, second clip showing up, Joe and I from Monday. Make sure you're watching that. And then Monday morning, 11 a.m., Joe and I live. Crypto Market Monday. All right, that's it. I appreciate everybody being in the chat. Thank you so much. Automatic Beats, Crypto Jar, 100 Air, Crypto Bedell, Trade Intuition, Dave. I'm scrolling through because I don't want to miss anybody here. And if I do, I apologize in advance. Automatic Beats. I think I got everybody. And I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget, on your way out, smash up that like button, share this, and you got to do nothing beside hang on. And we're going to send you over right now to Joe, Trade Intuition, teaching you how to fish. Yes, learn to trade intuition. That's coming right now. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Crypto on the rocks. Take care.